to as a student and a recovering perfectionist, the fact that I was able to make my first investment thousands of kilometers or thousands of miles away, it allowed me to focus on process and not the property. And so that's one of the things that, although I'm not really a process driven person, I started to also understand myself more. I was focused on how do we make the process more efficient so that we can attend to the needs of our residents, of our tenants, and things like that. So maybe a little bit of a long-winded answer, but hopefully that answers your question.
No, man, it's so good. It's, again, like this is going to be like a super valuable episode because so many people can learn from this. Like I made the mistake too. Like I was buying into my market, which is the same. It's an appreciation market. Like I was basically borrowing, stealing to make deals happen. Right. I was like finding owner finance, and I'm super blessed. Like I'm super grateful that all those things happened. But I had that mindset too of like, if I can't touch it, or if my brother can't touch it, or like someone can't be there, I can't buy it, you know? And it took this like major shift to be like, you know what, actually, I can buy out of state. Like you're way further. So you got to have a little bit better processes than me. But yeah, I still get on a plane. I still get on a plane, fly to every deal. And it's sure, maybe the plane flight's shorter, but it's still
a plane flight.
Yeah. So like, learn from us. It's definitely possible to purchase out of town, out of country, and have those people and the right things in place to make it happen.
Yeah. And, you know, and it even goes beyond that, Eric, and you're seeing this as well, right? And this is one of the main reasons that your audience continues to come back. They're learning from the things that you've done and the mistakes that you've also made. But at a certain point, it doesn't matter if the flight is 2 hours long or 8 hours long. It's, you know, you have to focus on the process because you cannot be there. And you cannot be there in 5 minutes. You can't get in your car and be there 5 minutes down the road. And when it starts with you, that's one thing. But as you also know, when you also start accepting the goals, the dreams of others, which is through a syndication, then it becomes like it takes it up 20 notches. Because now it's not just about the process work for you and your capital, but it does it work. The team is able to function, is able to operate, because now it's not just you, it's your investors as well. They're relying on you. And so, you know, and the people that have invested with me, they are very clear. Like they like the fact that I live in Barcelona and I can explain the way that the team is going to work to make sure that we are doing as much as we can to protect their trust that they have in us, that they've represented at the end of the day by investing capital with us. And so, yeah, you have to focus on it. You do everything that you can. And, you know, when you start accepting other people's goals and dreams and trust, it's, you know, it takes it up a number of notches. So you do everything you can to make sure that, that things are working in the right way, or going to work when, not if. Now it's not if, it's a when things are going to go wrong. So.
Yeah, man. So good. Like, again, there's so many lessons. So I had a call with 2 investors last night. Like 2 friends, we had this call, and he's like, you know, basically he was like the doom and gloom investor guy, right? So like some investors are like, how much money can I make? And some investors are like, what happens when a tornado comes, you know? Or like, cause we invest in Oklahoma. And so you're absolutely right. Like find the things where it's like, oh yeah, like it's a matter of time until some natural disaster or some tree falls or some tornado comes or whatever, right? Like have the process in place for that. And you don't necessarily have to be there. And the other thing you said was like, when you accept investor money, it goes up 20 notches. And I love that. Like, I love that quote because it's at least 20. Like with the second I took someone else's money, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing worked for me. And if I lost money before, that stinks. If I lose someone else's money, that like crushes me, you know? And it's a possibility, right? It's always a possibility you're going to lose some money. People have to know that. But I think just like the stewardship that you talk about, and like Billy, you're obviously excellent at this, right? Like taking other people's dreams and it's on you, and it's so much like it's 50 notches higher. So I loved your quote. And then one other thing too, like I really wanted to go back to is like you said, put your money where your mouth is. And there always comes that time where it's hard. Like you're talking to an agent, they've sent you some deals, you know, you're like, okay, I know this is the right thing. It's really hard to pull the trigger